You just can't spend much time on your knees with Gable Steveson. 30 seconds left.
Oh, he's to the left this side.
He's sliding off. Oh,
we're gonna get big here. On the high cross. He's running down. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Can you believe this?
Henderson with the three. Gable with a hustle. The Olympic champ is about to lose. It's 13 seconds.
This could be it.
Oh my goodness.
The biggest upset in the history of the NCAA. Could this be it? Yes. He has done it.
White Henderson just beat Gable Steveson. White Henderson just beat Gable Steveson. Oh my God.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunset Rants. Biddy, we got a whole bunch of stories for you today. Trump versus judges update. Did Trump's national security team actually message Atlantic editor-in-chief with Houthi strike plans? We got the Middle East update for you. We have a Maha update for you, which is it time to end SNAP for sodas? And are there benefits of eating fermented foods? So we're going to get into all of that today. I'm Biddy, and you can find me on X, Elizabeth213A. You can find me on YouTube, Elizabeth213. Valley, where can they find you, girl?
Hey, so I go by that Valley Girl. You can find me at right there, the Kelly Melody. And we also have Fluffy joining us today. What up?
I'm back for a Monday. This is weird.
Happy Monday.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not usually here during the week, so I don't know what to
hibernating?
do. No, I'm usually researching dumb shit.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you took a break from that for us. We appreciate you, man.
Gotta give the ladies what they want.
Of course, you can also follow the show, The Real Roma _AK on X. You can also go to YouTube and Rumble. It's Roma Nation, all one word, and watch us over there.
I highly recommend the Rumble chat because that's where I hang out.
Yeah. Rumble's kicking right now. They're really, we gotta. I mean, listen, if you're out there and you don't really like getting smushed down by censorships and whatnot, Rumble's a good spot. So we should definitely support them over there. Get over there and start watching some stuff.
I don't have to censor myself there, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't have to. So we need to. Yeah. The only way that we make an impression on these platforms is to show them, like, listen, if you're gonna act a fool, then we're gonna leave. So, and you got to stand by that.
I was just saying I'm PG-13 at most, or at least.
Well, at least by today's standards.
I would do my best.
All right, so we got our first story. Should we get into it?
Sure.
Would you like to take us away, Fluff, or would you like?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Attorney
Do
General.
the 2-sentence summary.
Oh, you
Yeah,
want to summary? Okay.
No, don't do that. It's gonna be like sucky stuff happening. Hopefully, we get through it.
Oh no,
I
I was
mean, I'm
going
not
to
too
say.
impressed with Pam Bondi
Uh,
right now, so let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with like my summary of this is Pam Bondi is not happy with the way things are going, and the only way to fix it is by using the Supreme Court corpses.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, we knew a lot of these things that Trump's trying to do. We knew they were going to get to the Supreme Court. I mean, Biden made it a point, as well as Obama did when he was in his term, to um, to appoint as many judges as possible. So they're scattered all over the country and ready to push back in any kind of agenda Trump's trying to push. And one of the biggest agendas is getting illegal immigrants out of the country, that especially criminal ones that aren't supposed to be here. That's what like a lot of people voted for that. That was one thing that was huge on everybody's priority list, and that's why they voted. So they're going against the American people essentially, because we voted to have safer streets and, to be able to function as a society without all this hindrance. So, so coming to you from the NBC News, Attorney General Pam Bondi once again attacked members of the judiciary in a Fox News interview Sunday, criticizing federal judges who have struck down or paused portions of President Donald Trump's agenda, and saying the Supreme Court will ultimately hear the court battle over the administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act that was enacted in 1798. The Supreme Court will get involved, she says, and Sunday morning futures. This is an out-of-control judge, a federal judge trying to control our entire foreign policy, and he cannot do it. So I know that they were trying to go through appeals court for them to hear Trump's request to remove the temporary pause enacted by District Judge James Boasberg, who is presiding over the case involving the administration's use of that act. And a lot of people that are arguing against his usage of it, they point out a lot of the times that it was used in wartime, which it was. That was like mostly when it was used. It was used in 1812 to monitor the British. It was used during World War I with President Woodrow Wilson. He used it to register about 480,000 German and Austro-Hungarian people. So it's something that has been enacted before by former presidents, and it was for wartime reasons. But there's also a spot in there that talks about the invasion, and we spoke about that here as well. Is like, if you think about it, we were being invaded. Like whether or not people were being invited here under like the different apps that were created and whatnot, and like helping them to get over here. A lot of criminals, like really violent criminals, terrible criminals, came over here as well. And that's who we're being invaded by, and that's who we should be allowed to kick out of the country. That's just my thing on it. What do you guys think?
Val, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sensitive issue, right? Because this is something that we spoke about when this first came out a couple weeks ago, about Trump's use of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act to deport, alleged gang members. And I think that there's going to be a federal judge that will block a lot of his initiatives. I also think it's like a sensitive subject, because you're hearing stories of families like getting deported that have like been in the States for like 35 years, right? So I know this isn't particularly the scenario and why he wants to enact this particular ruling, but I think that there's going to be continuation of backlash. I know that this is to target alleged Venezuelan gang members. But who knows? It is a very slippery slope. And I think it's kind of ironic that Bondi is, framing all of this as judicial overreach in foreign policy when she has spent the majority of her time on Fox interviews and not giving us sensitive information such as the Epstein files that were like promised. Like, to me, she just doesn't seem like she's just turned out to be like a very disappointing pick. So we'll see. It sounds like she has faith. Yeah, I mean, I would argue that even like little Marco is doing better, but it sounds like she's like confident in like Supreme Court victory. Something about her that I don't think that she is the most competent person to get things done. But again, it's a new administration. I think we should give like 3 to 4 months to really evaluate the cabinet. But as you'll see the rest of the show, the cabinet is completely blundering. So get off my lawn. Our producer says, oh my gosh. I know one of us keeps showing it and the other one's like hiding it. I think Rubio is quietly becoming the rock star of the cabinet.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Yeah. We're like trigger happy there. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think Rubio is getting things done. So we'll see. It looks like what do we have pulled up from X here? The
From Florida, right?
She was the attorney general in Florida. Yep.
Okay.
What is
a fair share of immigration issues in Florida?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
I would say she's at least motivated to handle the immigration policy one way or another. Now, am I cutting her some slack? Maybe a little bit, because the legal system is kind of, I don't want to say in the way, but purposely slowed down for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like it's the judge overreaching? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But is the Trump administration also grasping at straws to get something done? Yes. I mean, realistically, because he keeps getting blocked every time they try to do something. So it's kind of a Mexican standoff to some degree.
Yeah, it does. It has like a feel of like trying to be as creative as you possibly can, trying to figure, look through the laws, look through what other presidents have done, look like at the layout of the land and kind of like try to foresee the kind of pushback that you're going to get from all these judges, to have other things in your back pocket to say, oh, all right, you didn't like that? All right, here. Now try to do something with that.
Now, my question is, where's the federal judge to countersue this judge?
That's a good question. I mean, I actually don't know. I wish I knew more about how everything like goes up the ladder. I mean, Brian, our producer, he's really good at this stuff. He tried to give me like a crash course on it, and it still was like, I'm like, it's so hard.
Here's my theory on this. My theory on this is we can pretty much assume that J.D. Vance is going to be running for 2028. Who's the VP pick going to be for that? Well, now's your time if you're a Republican federal judge. If this judge is going to do oversight, you might as well, or do overreach. You might as well do overreach as well, because to hell with it, the rules don't apply anymore. And now you can be up and running for the VP pick of 2028 because now your name's out there in the news.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely should try to make a name for yourself, if anything, and it would help us in the meantime. I mean, the overreach by this judge is because Congress gave the authority to the president to make decisions on national foreign policy and national security. So Trump has basically said, like, these factions of people are like, he's labeled some terrorists. He said that these people are criminals and that they're committing horrendous crimes, which we've seen in different terrible tragedies that have come out over time. So Yeah, I mean, again, this is what he proposed. He was extremely vocal about it during his rallies. So if you voted for him and you didn't watch any of his rallies and you didn't know what he was planning to do, um, I don't know, maybe you're just one of those people that just voted because you thought Biden was sleeping the whole time and you didn't really pay attention to anything, which is fair because I'm sure there were a lot of people out there that did that. But like, yo,
Yeah.
we can't house the entire world. We say this all the time. You can have compassion, but you can't house the entire world. But the beginning stages of this, getting out the criminals, the ones that are committing crimes, like if you like, you know, there was like a question about tattoos and whatnot, and I didn't get to say this last time, but there was something that happened like that I was thinking in my head, and I'm like, even if you're in like small gangs, like if you grow up in a city, you know, you kind of know like gangs and stuff like that, you kind of have to, because there's people that tell you like don't wear this color on this day, like they're looking for like literally, like this is something you grow up with that you have to kind of understand. So if you have like a huge tattoo that means that you're part of a gang, that you're sworn to them, more than likely that means that you're part of that gang. Like you know, there's something that needs to be looked into. So, you know, I think there was like a reporter that asked Caroline Levitt, like, oh, are you just going based off of tattoos? And she's like, no, like there's intelligence plus that, plus the, you know, there's other things that we're trying to figure out. But just saying that you can't go, like, you can't figure it out by like, you know, the gang colors or whatever, that's just not true.
Let's go on a scavenger hunt. I'm gonna put this out on the internet. Show me a dozen Democrats who are housing illegal immigrants, like willfully. Show me a dozen in the whole country.
Yeah,
they don't practice what they preach.
No, wasn't there? I forgot who it was. There was like a video of somebody that was going around and he was knocking on doors of people that had like the Biden sign in front. Did you see that, guys? Yeah. And he was like, oh, we have these migrants that just came over. We really don't have anywhere to put them. There's like 10 of them or so. Would you be willing with this big house to bring them in here and house them and clothe them and, you know, take care of them and, you know, kind of reach out to us later? And she's like,
No.
like, yeah, absolutely not. So
I saw a different one. This was during the election cycle. There was a guy with a Biden sign up front on his door, and then like the guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, you're a Biden supporter. Are you right?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm a Biden supporter." And they're like, "All right, guys, come on in." Like a van opens up, and like 12 Mexican dudes runs into the house.
Yeah. No, but they never practice what they preach. And a lot of Democrats. I seen a video earlier where, and I, you know, take this with a grain of salt because I actually didn't look into all the details she was saying, but she said a large majority of Democrats are people that make over 500K. I don't know how true that is, but she was saying like the people that vote Democrat these days are in part of like the higher echelon of society. Like they're more, you know, like there was for every $1 billion person that endorsed Trump, it was like 2 that endorsed Kamala Harris or something like that. So it's kind of funny, like, you know, remember when they were shipping all these people to Martha's Vineyard when DeSantis did that from Florida? They will be gung-ho telling all of us that we need to be more welcoming, but when you bring it to their doorstep, their pretty manicured lawn, they're like, no, this can't happen.
These are the same people who have that purse dog because it was trendy.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens. I think everything is going to end up at the Supreme Court, to be honest, because of everything with these judges. But they need to get as much done as possible, because the liberal cities, the one that I live in, they do some funny stuff with migrants voting. So you know, even though they're not supposed to, even though it's probably alleged, you know, and not fully proven, but we need to get that done before midterms start for sure. And also the criminal ones that are hurting everybody. And the way that they hurt people is way different than the people in this country hurt people. It's insanely animalistically violent. Yeah. So, all right.
Speaking of your home city, we got your favorite article up here from your favorite publisher.
Yes. All right. All right, so I'll go with that. It's a New York Post. Trump National Security Team message plans for Yemen strikes to Atlantic editor-in-chief in stunning breach.
This was a big yikes. This was like a
Yeah.
huge thing. Like,
Yeah. I know you did. I know you were like looking into this all day. You probably have the most to talk about than all of us.
yeah, so I can go over the article briefly. Washington, so reporting from Washington, the Atlantic magazine editor-in-chief was included in a message chain in which top administration officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. So Mike Waltz actually added this magazine editor-in-chief, and like apparently, according to him, he like had zero idea. He was like, "Why am I being added to this like very secure Signal chat?" Jeffrey Goldberg. And can you go up just a little bit? Yeah, right there. Oh, a little down. Okay, but basically, so you can see right there, Jeffrey Goldberg. So that is the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, and he revealed basically that he just got added like willy-nilly. Like it was a shock. They didn't have a prior relationship. This was a very time-sensitive Signal chat. So like if you're not familiar with Signal, essentially what it is it's like a third-party like encryption to encryption app. It's like very similar to WhatsApp, but a funny example is when I'm thinking of like Elon and the Ashley St. Clair like drama. Like they communicated like all through Signal, and like she ended up like taking screenshots for proof essentially. But like that's what you have to do in Signal because the messages have a time limit on them. Very oftentimes, again, because it's like time sensitive like information. So I saw with one of the screenshots, it said it was going to expire in 4 weeks from now. So once it's expired, like police can't, I believe police can't even, get back to it. Like there's no record of it. Like you can't, it's not available through anyone's like, iCloud or anything like that. It is like the most secure encrypted chat. But yeah, so like what Fluffy says, so the call is coming from inside the house. Yes. So what's actually happening is that Mike invited this guy in. And if you look at some of the text messages, there's text messages between JD Vance, Pete Hegseth, and then like a ton of people cheering them on after that. JD Vance says, "Pete, if you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again. Let's make sure our messaging is tight here. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it." And then Pete Hegseth basically says, like, "I fully share your loathing of like what's going on with the European Union. And then the whole episode happens and everyone's like congratulating him. It comes off as like very war hawkish. Yeah, if you're able to blow that up actually, or zoom in, I guess is a better word. He says Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger. There we go. Yeah, on our side of the ledger, that can do this. Nobody else quotes. The question is timing. I feel like now is as good of a time as any, given the President of the United States directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but basically Trump has 24 hours of decision space. SM, I don't know. I'm not quite sure who SM is. Someone else in the administration. But yeah, this ends up happening, and it sounds like, considering Mike and Jeffrey had no prior relationship, and that's just very inappropriate to send it to a chat, like to a secure chat when you're talking about like foreign affairs and military like operations. It's like we're cooked. Mike at least has to go. The Secretary of Defense I think Pete's going to have a talking to. Trump has come out and said that he like literally has no idea what's going on. Like
Yeah, he was first
like,
at it.
yeah,
Mhm.
like he was like, I don't like the Atlantic, but like these were never shared with me, which is true. Like it's not like Donald Trump is like actually in the chat, right? So he can very well tell the truth and just being like, this is all above my head. Like, you know, he might not be very tech savvy because he's not that generation, right? So it's like the Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plan. So I don't think it was accidental. I think, like Fluffy said, the call was coming from inside the house. Jeffrey Goldberg like went straight to the Atlantic and like published it like on Instagram, like on their website. They are just trying to get all of this traffic as of like 2 hours ago. It says Goldberg accepted the connection request, like thinking that it was either some type of like scam or that it was like an accident. And then when he realized that it was the actual national security advisor that did have him join and wanted to chat about some important or newsworthy matters. So 2 days later, Goldberg was added to the Signal chat called the Houthi PC small group. And it's actually funny because I retweeted something on my page where it's like girls group chats are the girlies with like a ton of emojis. Guys group chats are talking about that. But yeah, it says like all in all, the group had like 18 members, including the Secretary of State, Little Marco, JD Vance, TG, presumably Tulsi Gabbard, and then the SB. I think there was like an SM or an SB, and I wasn't sure who that was, which is Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. Like, that's insane. That's insane that he got access to like the explicit operation details of the airstrikes in Yemen.
So I did a quick search. Signal is actually approved for government phones and for government employees to use because they have a special contract. So like them using Signal is not out of the ordinary for any administration. It was specifically built for government entities. So like Signal has been around long enough that Obama used it.
Right. And like I know that it is encrypted. That's interesting that it is government approved. I didn't think that it wasn't. I think the fact that there are more or less text messages released that are that detailed. But I get what you're saying. Like especially like if you have to communicate with people that aren't all in one place and are working on like separate projects, it's like it's like how we all communicate on Discord, right? But Discord isn't nearly as secure. So it's like I said, it's like encryption to encryption. It expires. Like they weren't doing anything wrong. It's just the fact that this group got infiltrated by an editor-in-chief, and I don't know why that happened. And like saying they accidentally texted me its war plans, like that's not accidental when you're like added to a Signal group. Like you need permissions to access that. Yeah. So that's like what I don't quite understand, how accidentally he got all of this information. Like he was added. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would have been secure if he wasn't added to the damn thing. It would have been probably fine. But
like Fluffy was saying, like it is that secure that government officials are using it. So how can you accidentally infiltrate a chat? Like you didn't, you got added.
Could this be an accident or could this be something else?
Well, if you scroll up, Brian, if you're able to scroll up on the same post, it says, okay, right there. The real Michael Waltz. It was really him, and Goldberg like thought maybe it was nefarious actors trying to induce journalists to share information that could be used against him. But Goldberg accepted the connection request, hoping it was the actual national security advisor, and it was. So the real national security advisor added him 2 days later. I don't get how that's an accident. He added him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man. Yeah, this is I mean, this is not cool.
The,
I mean,
like he's cooked, and that like makes you question the integrity of bad faith actors in the administration, right?
Yes and no. Like, these people are establishment people. Like, if anything, is par for the course. Like, I don't think I can think of a single administration who's been like 100% perfect. Yeah, bro. No, I can't think.
yeah,
of
that is true too.
But like,
That is
like
true.
think of it this way, right? Republicans' whole thing, specifically the MAGA movement, is the legacy media are the enemy of the people. Okay, they're the enemy of the people, so we're going to give them sensitive information.
Wait, I just thought of it. They pride themselves in the most transparent administration. That's what this is. It's pure transparency. It's a psyop.
Oh, all right.
That's what this is. I have no clue, but it
Like,
sounds
we'll
good
let
on
you know
paper.
because you can't stop us anyway. Oh my gosh.
We might as well be the leakers. Like, we might as well leak this ourselves so we can control the information.
I mean, like, honestly, anything like is starting to make sense. But are you able to? Oh, yeah, there we go. Just scroll down. I just want to see if there's like anything else that is in that little blurb before because we can't go to the Atlantic because of the stupid paywall. March 14th, witness a detailed policy debate. Okay, he shared the screenshots. Next morning, explicit operational details of forthcoming strikes on Yemen. Already knew that, including information about targets, weapons the U.S. would be deploying, and attack sequences, which were shared by the account labeled Pete Hegseth. Oh, yikes. Goldberg still couldn't figure out that the tech claims could be legitimate, but once bombs dropped in Yemen and members of the group celebrated in the chat, Goldberg concluded that the chat was almost certainly real. Today, a spokesperson for the National Security Council confirmed that the signal group was, in fact, authentic. Like I said, it is a breach. It is a breach. They're admitting it's a breach.
Yeah, and Trump looked like totally taken off guard.
Yeah, Waltz may have also violated federal records law by setting some of the messages to automatically delete after a certain amount of time. I thought Signal, you like have to put a time limit on it. So that part I'm not quite sure about. But the comments in the Atlantic casually mic dropping on a Monday. Oh gosh, the libs are gonna run with us. This is such a 4-season total landscaping moment. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I saw them come out of their holes all day today. They were so excited about this.
So I'm reading the Atlantic article and I'm not seeing anything noteworthy.
So it's pretty much this.
You're
this
paying
kind of
for
summed it
that.
up.
How did you get past the
Yeah, he's paying
spiral?
for it. We'll go with that.
Okay.
But yeah,
my reputation precedes me.
Like, I want to know.
Imagine if this was like something crazy that they did on purpose because they knew it would leak, and then
4D chess.
giving like fake information so that way they would think that it's happening this way. These are the weapons. These are where this is where all that other kind of stuff, and it really wasn't. But I mean,
but like, it literally did happen that way.
I don't know. Yeah,
it literally happened that way.
Yeah, it would have been cool if it would have been smooth, but
yeah,
it doesn't seem smooth. It seems like somebody messed up big time.
Yeah,
it looks like the screenshots pretty much write the story. Like, I'm almost all the way done with this, and everything that we've seen with the screenshots is pretty much just typed up in a nice formation or format on the Atlantic with some opinion put in there. Like, I'm not really seeing anything that's like, hey, this is new. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, you have any more about this Fluffy Valley? Any
No,
more?
I think it's just it's going to be one of those things because we are that generation that cannot take things seriously, where we're just going to see like several like memes and circulating like articles and opinion pieces and everything going on for, you know, the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that there are even war planes at all. Yeah, I completely agree. Like this is making the administration look quite hawkish, and they're, you know, applauding, and this is not great for people who are, you know, very staunchly like anti-war.
Mhm.
I understand the anti-war aspect of that, but like
Yeah,
the aspect of we should at least have a plan for in case thing happen is one thing. Like
hmm,
I don't think anybody will disagree. Like, hey, we need to have a plan in case I don't know America gets invaded, or if like
yeah,
say, a friendly country with us or a trade partner cuts off their supply. You know,
yeah,
like Taiwan because we use their chips. Or I'm sorry, East China.
Mhm.
If you know, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you hear the advisors and all these people talking about, you know, foreign policy, it like the nuances are insane. I don't pretend to be like that in the know about foreign policy because it's like just one of those things that I'm just like, what? But a lot of it is not. I don't know if it's as simple as just totally stopping, or I don't know if it is something that they could just be like, all right, no more today, no more, that's it, done, and like you're on your own kind of thing.
I guess it kind of goes to how strong of a showing do we want to give to enemies of countries and allies that's with us? Because if
Yeah.
they see like, hey, we have plans to do this and we're actively talking about it, they might think twice before doing something. But that's kind of like a armchair opinion because I'm not involved in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
But speaking of things that make people really pissed off,
Yes.
uh, Pittsburgh Post: Israel strikes kill scores in Gaza as Egypt offers new ceasefire proposal. This is great. Israel strikes across Gaza Strip killed more than 65 Palestinians over the past day, including women and children, of course. And Gaza Health Ministry said Monday, in less than a week of air and ground operations since Israel broke the ceasefire with Hamas. Now, that seems a little subjective because
Hmm.
didn't Hamas not agree to the ceasefire?
Yeah, they basically kept raising the bar every time. It was like,
Yeah, okay. I knew that was weird. But its forces have killed over hundreds of people in Gaza, sending death toll in 17 months to the war soaring over 50,000. I didn't think there was over 50,000 people in Gaza.
yeah, it seems like such a small spot, but I think they have a lot of people there. I feel like I heard the number before, but I can't remember it right now.
I don't think it's a million, is it?
I feel that's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to check.
in all of Gaza, yeah,
It's a million in all of Gaza? Okay.
yeah. I mean, this is gonna be
2.10 million. Yeah.
yeah, this is gonna be such like a back and forth. I mean, it's so hard to negotiate with Hamas. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a video earlier just to see if I can get a grasp on things, but it was with Steve Witkoff and Tucker Carlson. They had a sit down I don't know, like 4 days ago or something, 3 days ago, and that's of course the United States Special Envoy to the Middle East. So he's doing all the negotiations over there, trying to garner some peace and some, you know, conclusion in everything that's going on. Um, this is something like because we've said that that Israel is our allies and we are going to essentially help like peace happen in these areas, we're still in it. You know, Hezbollah has been essentially broken with the death of Nasrallah, who's the leader of that faction. Bashar al-Assad, he's gone from Syria. Obviously, the new leader al-Julani, he did express desire for Israel to withdraw from buffer zones. However, he also mentioned that Syria would not be used as a launch pad for attacks against Israel. So he's kind of like, I'm paying attention to my people here. I would like you to kind of get out of here so we can go about our business, but we're not going to be used by these factions to attack Israel either. So there seems to be some kind of like he's trying to stabilize a little bit there, maybe. I don't know. But Witkoff said he did mention one thing. He said it's hard to totally kill off Hamas because it's a lot of these things are essentially an idea. It's not necessarily, you can just point and say, get that person and it's over. It's not. It's like, get one out, one gets thrown in, or like literally thrown in too. A lot of the times they get like forced into these things from when they're little.
Well, that's no different than what ISIS was. If you were to take out one ISIS extremist, their 5 sons will take their place.
Right.
And like, how do you end an ideology besides just, I'm going to say the word, genocide? And that's the only way that's possible. And even then, you're going to have sympathizers.
Right. You're going to just build more groups that are going to.
So there really
and that's in lies foreign policy.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no right answer with this. Okay, I'm going to probably take a stretch here. And we should wash our hands from any conflict outside of America. I said it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we keep saying. It's really sucky. I mean, what Witkoff was talking about, like, you remember when President Trump came out and said, like, what if we start building over there in Gaza and stuff like that, and that he received backlash from that because people are like, we don't want to spend any money. He said it wouldn't be our money that we spending, or that Trump wanted to like own this and put up like all these golden towers that say Trump on them and stuff like that.
I think that was a joke. That was a joke.
But he was saying that there's a lot. Well, first of all, the whole place is destabilized because of these crazy factions that are just like pulling people in at literal gunpoint. But there's also like, there are bombs going off constantly. Like the place is dismantled. And then I had asked you this earlier because I couldn't remember the name, the bunker busters that are like, getting rid of the tunnels that are underground. He said it's basically like Swiss cheese. So trying to build on top of that is hard. And if you think of like, trying to stabilize an area, it has to be some opportunity for them to prosper. Otherwise, what are they going to continue to do? It's just, so it's like they're trying to think of ideas of like you have to have a ceasefire because if you build something, then it's just going to get blown right down. But there's a lot of people with a ton of money that could invest in these areas to make it, where people can actually live.
But they don't want the investment. That's the thing. They don't want the investment because they see America as the issue. So why would they take USD? They're not.
Yeah.
And then if they do, then they're heretics to their own faith or to their own cause. Like that's the whole thing. So it's like there's no winning here. It's just staying off until it's someone else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Impure says, end all foreign aid, bring our boys home. We need to abide by the Monroe Doctrine. We can't be in these entangling military advances. I agree, but it's so complicated, and I've said this several times before. It's not just territorial, but it's also biblical. Well, it's ideological. It's biblical. It is the fact that whether you want to expand on this or not, Israel did fund Hamas, and so it's just there's a lot going on, right?
Obama funded the Mexican cartels.
Right, exactly. like yes, we shouldn't be involved, but like we have funded our allies that funded terrorists, and then we have also the U.S. has also directly funded terrorists.
I feel like the response is like what Fluffy would say is like, we did bad thing. Now we have to fix what we did bad before we can leave.
We did bad thing, we fix thing, and we leave.
Yeah, right.
So, like,
and we do leave. Like, I hope.
Yeah, but it's interesting because like I'm just like browsing on X right now, and you know when everyone's talking about the 2 Palestinian journalists that were killed, Mohammed Mansour from Palestine Today and Hassam Shabat from Al Jazeera Mubashar, and they were killed in separate Israeli airstrikes. They put out a ton of like, because they were like younger, right? They were putting out a ton of videos on
this was his
Instagram
final message
and X.
too.
Yeah, on like Instagram and X, and kind of like informing people of like what's going on. And like, you know, I still think that this is like, people just need to stop dying. And I know that's not as simple as suggesting that, but it's like when journalists are working like in these war zones, it becomes, you know, like very unsafe. And I don't know, one of the posts on here are saying that like none of the mainstream media stations are covering it. I don't know. I don't watch the mainstream news.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously the news does tend to be slanted in general. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when I think there's like 5 hostages that are supposed to be like getting released, and I don't know if that's happening. So
I think I figured out how
especially like after this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need 25 crop dusters and an ungodly amount of LSD, and we'll just spray the entire Gaza Strip in Israel and let it sort itself out. That's our last.
When are you gonna run for president so we can all vote for you? Get in there now.
You know, Fluffy, you're really giving me like Vermin Supreme vibes. Like you just gotta wear the boot on your head. Like just channel your Vermin Supreme. You can like win the Libertarian vote by.
Oh my god, you keep saying Supreme and
yeah.
So long.
I have thought about running for governor in my state because our governor is a current piece of trash. Yes, I got the accordion hands. Yes.
To be huge.
It's gonna be the best run ever.
It'll be the hugest thing. It's my pant size, I swear.
Oh man.
Yeah. I got the non-interventionist wholeheartedly endorsed.
You're prepared for everything.
He's like, legalize all drugs for weapons of mass destruction.
Source.
Yeah.
Impure endorses you.
Of LSD.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We've sons before. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Well, it's gonna constantly develop this thing. As you said, this is also biblical, so who knows if there can ever be peace, and that's why I agree with you, both of you, that we eventually have to just find our way to get the frick out of all of this and go about our own business and just stop with all of this stuff. Like, stop with getting involved with, you know, regime recommendations and whatnot. But yeah, so now we're going to go to another topic that's definitely pissing a lot of people off, especially soda drinkers. So why don't we get into it?
This is not pissing me off at all. I am happy for this.
Yeah, I don't drink soda, so I could care less too. But
I cannot tell you how often it absolutely pisses me off when I go to the grocery store and I see people pay for sodas, junk. And I'm a fat guy. I love my junk food, but like absolute junk. And then I see my tax dollars get swiped at the cashier station. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, here I am penny pinching on all this other stuff going, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Why has this bitch got a cart and a half of stuff and just, EBT, here we go. I got all my food. Ma'am, you've got 6 liters of cola. 6 liters, god damn it. Can you tell what movie I just watched? They got like 6 liters in their cart. And like, what are you feeding? Seriously, it's you and your son. Unless there's a group of people at their house, just fuck all and nothing. What's going on here? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Oddly enough, none of these people who buy stuff on EBT cards ever buy pork. I'm not kidding. I'm making a statement.
Why? Why don't they buy pork? Should I ask?
What religion
Maybe I
doesn't
should
buy
move
pork?
on.
What religion doesn't buy pork?
I should have moved on. No, but yeah, okay, so Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he did mention this, right? When he was, being considered that if you're gonna have these kind of programs, it shouldn't be where you can just buy all this like really toxic crap, especially when you think about it, it's people that don't really have access to stuff that's like, more money. This shouldn't be part of the program. It should be stuff like, organic, clean foods, healthy things. So you can build yourself up with the damn hole that you're in and have like the energy and the drive to move forward, maybe get some work so you don't have to be on these programs anymore. But if you're just sitting there, I mean, I'm sorry, you are what you eat. So if you're just sitting there all day with a liter of Coca-Cola on the couch with a bag of Doritos that you're dipping in cheese, like, you're not going to get anywhere with that. Sorry. I mean, and again, I'm not skinny either, but like this stuff really does make you just want to conk out and do nothing. So, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of have like a different opinion on it. First of all, there's like all these people.
What's your opinion on this?
Well, okay. So first of all, there's a ton of like, as you know, conservative influencer accounts that are like pro soda, which is interesting. Like, look, we live in a country where the FDA has allowed Red 40. It's allowed beta. What is that? Beta carotene. It's allowed, yellow 9s, all of this stuff. And a lot of these people go to things like Dollar General or like places that will have these smaller off-brand, chips and produce and things like that because it's, they're companies that have been produced in bulk that aren't getting on the shelves in like the mainstream, like supermarkets. Like for us, we have like the Pavilions, the Ralphs, the Vons, depending on where you are in the country. And because we are so lax here, I mean, there's going to be junk in almost everything that you buy. I mean, unless you are, forcing your children to have carbonated water and like Ritz crackers, and you could probably argue like Ritz crackers made in America versus like Ritz crackers in the UK are still a lot more unhealthy. But like, unless you have your kids on like a very strict diet, I mean, a lot of these snack pouches, like of chips, are great for kids to like bring to school, like put in their lunches. Like I get it, I do. And in general, I don't believe in government assistance, but I think that we're just getting like a little bit too much into like pearl clutching with soda when, I mean, we have fluoride in our water. Like we have like so much going on, and like the majority of our food is making us sick. And that's not a lie, but I just don't think giving your kids soda is going to make or break it. And I don't know. That's kind of my take. Like there's way bigger issues out there. Like, I mean, obviously it should be used on, like poultry and beef and, veggies and things like that. But like, what if there is a mom who like doesn't have time to like make meals and just gets like a ton of like, you know, happy snacks for their kids, or only buy soda occasionally? Like, you don't think they're able to do that? Like, I just don't think we should like be dictating what people can use their handouts on. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering, maybe you guys know, and I actually wish I would have looked it up. I can look it up now. But the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that's just for food, right? So people that are on government assistance, they get this, plus they get some kind of check for their
it's a form of EBT, yeah.
So do they get also like extra money as well from the government when they're on the SNAP program for other things like miscellaneous, like if they need to buy stuff? Because I was gonna say you could use that for like the
with EBT, because they changed it from food stamps, they went to EBT, right? EBT has a very wide variation on things that they can do. So, for example, they have merged WIC into EBT as well. Although some states have them separated, WIC is also part of EBT, which, sure, cool. I'm actually for the WIC programs because my mom used it a lot with me and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen a lot of people who are like just on the verge and like can barely make it, and they get some stuff. Not a problem whatsoever. Feeding kids, cool. Because unfortunately, I'm actually pro-life instead of pro-choice or pro-abortion like other people. I believe like, okay, you want the kid to live? Cool. Our taxes are going to feed the kid.
Yeah.
Any objections? Fucking better not be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so the average, I just Googled this, the average age of people on EBT, 43% of them are under the age of 18, which is the WIC, which is the SNAP benefits, which is the free food at schools and whatnot. So they're adding all that in there, skewing the variation of statistics. 39% of SNAP benefits go to households with children because of the WIC system. So like, numbers are oddly skewed. But what I didn't know was 28% of SNAP benefits go to households with senior citizens. That I did not know. I'm wondering if this whole soda conundrum, because as we know, millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alpha are not drinking as much soda, period. Like
everybody's on this health kick now. Yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering if this is just boomers and older bitching about soda because they want their Diet Cokes.
I mean, yeah, and another thing is we have RFK in there now. Why don't we just work on getting high fructose corn syrup out of soda, replacing it with natural cane soda or natural cane sugar, which
I thought that was the plan.
Which is what we, part of the Maha movement voted for. Not to mention, so I order a brand of soda called Stubborn, and they're not promoting.
We're gonna talk about that later.
They're not promoting us, but holla at your girl. I would love some food produce.
I never tried it, but I'll try it.
But it's soda that's made with all natural cane sugar, and it's caffeine free. And it doesn't have any like food coloring in it, and it's like that's like how our soda should be. So instead of hassling the poor for how they choose to use their EBT and their SNAP benefits, like, shouldn't we be pressuring our government to get all of this bad stuff out of our food and water supply chain?
Two things. If an item has sugar in it, it has caffeine in it, because your body turns sugar into caffeine.
Into energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you crash. I crash from sugar all the time.
Oh.
Well, no. It gives you like bad energy that you can crash on. Like if you use what's the thing that's in like green tea, like ginseng and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It kind of lays around a lot longer. It's kind of like a time release capsule. So you don't crash.
So as I understand,
I agree with you. Yeah.
As I understand it, sugar, what it does is it kicks your metabolism into overdrive as long as you're within moderation. And that's what gives you that burst of energy, which is also known as caffeine. and the crash is because your body has to catch up to where you were. Plus, a lot of the caffeine crashes are placebo effects because we were told as kids, don't drink that sugary drink because you're going to crash. I have drank so much caffeine in my life, but then again, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
There is no crash period when it comes to me personally. Like, there
I
isn't.
don't get a crash. I mean, well, I get a crash from caffeine. I don't get a crash from sugar. I can have sugar right
Weird.
before I go to bed and be fine.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like, I sip my coffee all day long, so I don't give it time to crash. I don't.
But the other thing I was going to bring up was you said the high fructose corn syrup. So as we know, like, the farmers are getting subsidies for the high fructose for the corn to turn into corn syrup. What we can do is we're going to have to fix the EPA because the EPA has got so many regulations on how to, or not the EPA.
FDA?
Fuck, what is it? It's the United Agricultural Development Program. Something. It's the Farmer Oversight Committee, essentially. Right now, as it stands, they are heavily regulating pure cane sugar being grown in America because some of the extracts from it can be used in cocaine productions.
Oh, for crying out loud.
That's why we don't have a lot of cane sugar grown in America. Not to mention, we don't have the actual, like, region for it to grow properly in such a high yield. Like, we can grow rice in certain aspects of our country because we match a lot of, like, China and Korea, but we don't have the actual land. We would have to build it ourselves in order to make rice patties for it to work. So, like, part of it's geography where we just can't get it to work. The other part is like, okay, now who are we importing it from? Do we trust them? So, like, it's very, this is where, like, government reach is like, okay, what do we do? You know, I totally agree with you. We need to get rid of corn syrup in our foods. I totally agree. But, like, it's just one of those, we're in a tight spot here. What do we do?
Yeah.
And they could be in battles, like legal battles behind the scenes with a lot of these companies, you know, because they probably have storage of these ingredients that they're currently using for their stuff, and, you know, stuff that's already out there in the stores that would, I don't know, would they just allow it to all go before the new stuff comes in, or would they say all this stuff has to come off the shelf? But we definitely need to clean our food. Like, we really have to. But would you guys like to move on to the last one real quick? It's just like a quick one. It's basically in the same realm too, which is kind of cool. Coming to you from Food and Wine, foods like kimchi and miso may have major mental health benefits, a new study suggests. So, and there's been a lot of studies too about possible links between diabetes and dementia. Some people calling it diabetes, like stage 3 diabetes, or I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think, but, like, you know, there's type 2. There we go, type 3 diabetes. But there's, like, they're still trying to do some research into that. But so your gut and your brain are in constant communication. What you eat can have a massive impact on how you feel, and vice versa. In recent years, research has focused on the association between food-derived probiotics and cognitive performance. But a new study published in EMBO Molecular Medicine found that probiotic-packed fermented foods may even ease anxiety and depression. So there was, I know we have also some things that were on X, some X posts. I was reading a couple of them. Something here from Dr. Lori Shemek. She's a health expert. She wrote some books, 4-time best-selling author. You may already be consuming some fermented foods such as coffee, chocolate, tea, beer, wine, or cheese. But to truly appreciate the healing power of fermented foods, eat those which are unpasteurized and therefore alive. Unpasteurized living foods like homemade sauerkraut, yogurt, kimchi, miso, natto, and kombucha boast trillions of bacteria compared to billions in the best probiotics that are on the market. So basically, eat it natural. You don't, it's better for you, and contain bacteria we have yet to discover. Ingesting these bacteria impacts our gut and digestion in a powerful way. It can change how our cells can actually communicate with our hormones, and can even change our gene expression for good or for bad. And they can promote heart health, blood sugar control, and even support our immune system. So gene expression is kind of like gets into like the DNA sequence, and how it kind of translates to build proteins in your body. So there, and this kind of goes into diseases as well that you can prevent, like cancer, infectious disease, autoimmune disorders, things like that, because they have to kind of work overtime to break these things down and tell them, like, for the cells to tell everything where to go. So if you have this good bacteria, it helps the transmission and you don't lose out on any of those nutrients. And I've been hearing about fermented foods for a while now. I mean, I love sauerkraut. If any, I already eat that. But they were saying it's better to do like the fermented than the pickling, because with the pickling you lose out on some nutrients. So.
Yeah, I mean, like the mind-body connection, it's nothing new. Is very powerful. I think that it can help out a lot. Like if you have a very, like if you have like a leaky gut, which is a very inflamed gut lining, and you're not processing all of the nutrients that, are going into your body. I also think probiotics are very good to constantly protect you from harmful bacteria, and especially like if you were to take antibiotics, like you do need those probiotics to like cancel everything out. But yeah, I mean, people have been saying that for a while about miso, sauerkraut, kombucha. There's another carbonated drink, a carbonated tonic that's similar to kombucha. That I can't think of.
Beer is fermented.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Beer is good.
So, like, there's been a lot of studies for that for a while now. But you also just have to be careful with the acidity, because with kombucha, it is very acidic as well. And people will suggest kombucha. They'll also suggest like apple cider vinegar. But if you have that high pH level in your stomach, then your stomach acid is like
gonna go haywire.
Is gonna be worse off. So what you need to do is you actually have to like neutralize the stomach acid first and foremost. So I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. But I mean, like, it's so funny because I will use Manuka honey, and Manuka, they're Manuka flowers that are specifically in New Zealand. And
so was me.
Yeah, and they have a lot of like anti-inflammatory properties. It's supposed to be like as much as taking ibuprofen. Look, I don't know. I really don't know if it's done anything, because I don't think I've taken enough for it to be that potent. It's pretty pricey. I mean, mine's like $50 for like 10.5 ounces or something.
Oh my gosh.
With like headaches then? Is that like it?
So the more of the they call it like a UMF, which is like their standard for medicinal properties, the higher that number is, the more it can work. So there's one that's more for general well-being, for wound care, for inflammation. There's like a whole list of things, but if anything, it's just supposed to, at a lower dose, kind of be more or less similar to like how elderberry treats, the overall immune system. So
recently, my wife's been having a lot of headaches lately. Just, I don't know why. Probably season change. We started mixing pineapple juice and cucumber water. Those two combined, after have been sitting in the fridge for like a day, becomes a natural anti-inflammatory, and it actually started like a lot of brain issues. Like she's noticed a lot of swelling on the temples of Winaway and whatnot. So she
Oh,
drinks
that's
like
good.
I think she drinks like what is it, 2 cups a day, like just before bed.
Huh.
Tell her I hope she feels better.
Yeah.
She's
What
fine.
kind
She's gonna
of?
drink. She's up my ass already.
She's better now.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
kind of like, damn, what did I
Yeah.
do? But wait, so what kind of? But it has to be like a good pineapple juice, right? Like it can't be one that has like a ton of sugar in it. It doesn't matter,
So
really.
we took a pineapple, skinned it, threw it in a blender, and just filtered it. We got it straight from the
Nice.
stores.
Nice. And then you said cucumber water. What did you bought that or you did that?
I washed the cucumber, cut it up, put it in like 4 cups of warm water because you don't want to do hot water. I just do warm water and then let it sit for a bit. Take the cucumbers out and then
Like a tea bag.
it kinda, and then I just mix the two and put it in the fridge for tomorrow. And then
Yeah, my husband deals with headaches too. So sorry, folks. I'm like I want to know so I could like help him too.
We
'Cause he
all
deals with
do.
headaches
We're
every day.
Yeah.
like I also looked into this, and this is kind of like a hippy dippy thing, but I'm trying it. Allegedly, something you should do with pineapple is you should drink, what was it, 16 fluid ounces once a month because it flushes all of your gut biome out. Like it kind of does like a hard restart once a month, and if there's anything lingering, it's not enough acid to cause like intestinal issues, but it's enough to kill off a lot of the gut biome that doesn't belong there. That, and if you got parasites, it will kill them.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna try that. That sounds good. That actually sounds good to like tasty too. Because like the cucumbers like doesn't really have a lot of flavor, but the pineapple does. So
Right.
It probably tastes really yummy.
Well, and a cucumber is like a neutralizer too.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. I get autistically involved in something, and I start reading, and I've got like 5 different pages up, and yeah. I got
The tabs are talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
Speaking of autism.
oh boy, we got.
Oh boy, here we go. We got the game. Caption this. You guys know it. Thank you for sticking around to play with us. It's caption this. Participation from the chat is needed, folks. Get your funny bone out and give us some captions. We're gonna show you an AI generated photo. Have at it. I know we got Aaron in here, so we're
Hello there.
loaded.
Hello, kids.
Yeah.
We got Asian grandma skateboarding. Who says night shift isn't hard on you?
You said something funny before.
I know it's my photo. Producer. I'm not making official statements. I'm just getting the brain juices to work.
Yeah, thanks. My brain juices never work while I'm on screen. When I'm off screen, I feel maybe I have like a weird thinking face that I don't like to show on camera.
A weird thinking face. What does that even mean? Is that like the thinker statue?
Yeah. Oh, Brian. Bernie Bro circa 2025.
Okay. Let's see.
When you've waited all your life for the skate park to be empty. Last of the classical liberals.
Hey!
There's like no classical liberals anymore, I swear.
Our generation gets older and discovers Ben Gay.
Yeah. Trying to think. Trying to think.
Beta will work in 10 years. Actually, I really like her hoodie. Is yeah. Wait, is hanging 10 only for surfing?
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't
I
know.
think so.
I'm a Valley girl, but I don't know shit.
Yeah, shouldn't you know? Don't people like surf around you?
Around me, yes.
Like right outside your door.
Yeah, just right outside.
That's funny.
Retirement plan? 401k? Whatever, bro. Check this Ollie. Look at me talking like I know skateboarder terms.
I don't even know if this is funny, but I'm gonna throw it in there anyway. I can't think of anything else.
Grandma's bucket list includes scraped hands and scabby knees. Well, she could probably get it if Grandpa would get up off more often.
Oh.
She's like, I'm blowing this pop stand. All right. You guys got any more that you're trying to put in there, or should we? Now she's free, free falling. That's great. I actually really like that because, like, if you think like if this ends up winning the championship and that's on the T-shirt, that is
Right.
so freaking cute.
Oh. Shit.
But
From
I'm afraid.
Hiroshima to Hang Ten, a story of determination.
Oh man, AK just coming in.
Wow.
That's funny.
When the pre-workout hits just right. Somebody confused the booger sugar with the baby powder.
What?
Oh man.
Why can't I actually picture that? And I see them all like going crazy in the nursing home. Like instead of Cocaine Bear, they should have had like cocaine in the nursing home. That would have been like a freaking hysterical movie.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the producer's pick. From receiving 2 sons to being in the Suns. Oh, to being in the Suns. It sucks that you can't edit your comments on X too. That's like the one thing that drives me mad because I'm like, I realize later that I get autocorrected and I'm like, crap. Yeah, that one was good. All right. So what do we got? What is your favorite fluff?
Not to play favorites here, but I really like the one from Roma Nation, the Hiroshima to Hang Ten. I really like that one. That tickled the dark humor inside me.
Yeah, that is good.
Aaron's is still pretty good too.
Yeah. Damn, I don't know. I don't know. This is so difficult. Okay.
I think I'm just gonna go with. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to my world. I'm like, they're so good. I actually really like yours. I thought that really got me. I thought it was so cute.
Free.
Yeah, the free falling one. I like
Free
that one.
falling.
That's my choice right there. All right, so we got, and so do you have a choice, Valley, or?
Yeah, I'll vote for myself. Why not?
All right.
Why
All right,
not?
so we gotta vote in the chat officially. We got from Hiroshima to Hang Ten, A Story of Determination. That's freaking great. For option 1, and then we have Now She's Free Falling for option 2. Vote in the chat, you guys, so we can see who wins.
1 or 2. 1,
One
2.
or 2.
1, 2. 1. Wait.
Can't be just
Hey,
us.
Fluff, you can't vote twice.
I've got all the chat pulled up. I can vote as many times as I want.
Oh my god, this is cute. Kind of after, but from nuclear fallout to Fallout Boy, this granny has you covered. Okay. 2, duh. But I still prefer burger sugar.
Oh, do we have a tiebreaker?
Ooh.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. No, actually, you won.
Looks like Booger Sugar
Oh.
wins.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't a free falling.
Yeah, the free falling. Yeah, I love that because I think it would be so cute, like to go with this. Like I'm like a cutesy. So Now She's free.
Yeah.
Falling.
It's like the reference too.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Well, congratulations, Valley.
Huh?
What?
That song.
Tom Petty.
Yeah.
I actually got the reference today. Don't make me feel like
Yeah.
Daily Wire just put out a story. 23andMe is going bankrupt. What happened to all the DNA samples? Apparently, they are filing a bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Missouri federal court. And
oh boy.
it looks like they're selling the data to the highest bidder.
Oh yeah. That's not a shock to me. I've learned early on you can't sell. I mean, you should never take like one of those third-party Ancestry, 23andMe data, DNA analytical tests.
I don't even. Yeah, like I don't like any of those Fisher things at all. There's been so many things that come out like that. And the reason why I did it in the beginning is because of like money. I didn't want to spend money on it, and but I'm so glad that that didn't happen.
I didn't mean to expand the show. This popped up and I went, oh, wait a minute. What is this?
Yeah, that's
it's on the dailywire.com if everybody wants to read into it for more information, but that's what we got.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure maybe Tay and Dee can cover it tomorrow night too.
Yeah, maybe there'll be like more stuff that comes out about it by tomorrow. We can check that out.
For sure.
That just means you all have to tune in tomorrow for Sunset Rants.
Yeah, a little teaser there. Nice, Fluff. Ooh, what did I do there? All right, well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as always here on Sunset Rants. I'm Biddy, of course. You can reach me at ElizabethY213A on X. I'm pretty much there all the time, half there, half in Discord, so I'll be chatting with you. And of course, the real Roma _AK on X, Roma Nation, all one word on YouTube and Rumble. Where can they meet you, Fluff?
They can go to X at Fluffy_Hobo if you really want to watch my autism at work.
Yes.
I mostly just shitpost. That's pretty much what I do. Like, I've got several people in our Discord.
Giggle and smile.
There's several people in our Discord. Join the Discord at ResidentMiddleAmerica.com. And that have
Yes.
said, like, my X profile is the best because they go to it like once every few days just to read all the memes that I found. Pretty much what they use it for.
Yeah, we'll just be sitting in there and Brian would be like, "Oh God, Fluff, what did you do?" And we'll just be like, "Oh, like revert right to the next thing to see what happened." All right. Where can they meet you, Valley?
Yeah, so I am mainly just on X right now. There's the tag. X.com/the Melody. I'm that Valley girl. I have a mixed bag of content. I definitely call out balls and strikes. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you guys there. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. And of course, like Fluffy said, don't forget to go to riseofmiddleamerica.com. We got all our shows there. We got our merch there that just came out. I got my hat finally, which I wanted to wear today and I forgot all about it. But I'm not gonna take my headphones off.
Red
Just
Brim?
gonna like tip it. But
Yeah, I like it.
I told you, I really love this. This is sick.
I know.
I mean, this is something that you go out and rock. Like, are you
yeah,
kidding?
for sure.
So yeah, they got some really cool stuff over there. So check it out.
I'm still waiting on the bandanas.
Oh my gosh, yes, we need that. We need that. Yo.
No pressure.
And they got
boss.
water bottles, Valley. All right, have a great night, you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.